Hi. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Joycey.
How are ya?
Fine. How are you?
Look nice today.
Well, so do you. You look real
Spiffy.
nice today. Thank you.
Holiday-ish.
Yes, thank you. You look really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Pretty outfit.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah. What do you think I was? Don't you think Joyce's outfit is really nice? She was a bridesmaid at Zorro's wedding.
All right, I knew it was coming.
Just kidding. We have a bunch of things to tell you about today on our program. Let's just kind of move a little bit over here, Pete. Will you do this? I want us to see our little old Help the Hungry barrel. These are located in your friendly nearby neighborhood Kroger's, and there's a photography of Mitzi and moi upon it. And we are inviting you to, when you do your holiday shopping, pick up an extra non-perishable food item or 2 or 3 or more. Drop it in the barrel on your way outside of Kroger's, and you will help some wonderful people this time of year. It's sponsored by, of course, our friends at Kroger, by Channel 12, and by the Free Store Food Bank, who will then distribute the food in our area. What a nice thing to do during the holidays.
It sure is.
Help the hungry.
Also, on our program today, a lot of fun. Now, we're going to talk about winterizing your car with Steve Overbeck. You never have trouble starting. I don't believe it.
No, I don't. I usually don't. I have a good battery. Steve Overbeck is here, and yes, he's going to be talking with us about that. We're going to make some holiday desserts. We're going to make Hanukkah latkes.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Latkes are potato pancakes. It's the Hebrew word for potato pancake.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thanks. If you'd like further lessons, you can call me after the show. No.
And we're also going to make chocolate chestnut torta.
For the holiday.
That's right.
So you want to get your pen and paper, actually, because it's pretty near Christmas time, so if you want to make these recipes, you're going to want to copy down the ingredients and follow the instructions with our Kroger chef, Glenn Minsky.
And we also have with us today, we're very excited about this, the Sycamore High School Touring Company. All right.
Give yourselves a hand.
There they are. Sycamore. Sycamore is an Indian word. It means blue sequins.
Yes.
And and then we're going to be singing for us today. Now, let me show you this record album. Mike, you going to focus on this? This is a record album from the Bengals called Just Say No. It's the brainstorm of Reggie Williams, one of the great football players, and last year's NFL Man of the Year for community service. He wrote and produced the song along with Vincent Callaway, and the lead vocalist is wide receiver Mike Martin, and of course punt return specialist. And Just Say No is available on record or cassette at area Super X stores, Record Theater, Globe Records and Tapes, All About Sports, and then on game days at Riverfront Stadium. And of course there'll be a game this Sunday versus them nasty New Orleans Saints. It's a mere $3.99. The money goes to the Reggie Williams Fund. Ultimately, it will go to the Just Say No Foundation. It's a way of fighting the use and ultimate abuse of drugs in our society. And our hats off to you, Reggie and Mike and the entire gang who perform on and produced and wrote this album. Just Say No.
What a great way for the Bengals to use their celebrity to
really
have that positive influence on kids. Also, the Mimosa Mansion Museum of Covington, Kentucky is hosting its annual Ghost of Christmas Past house tour. Mimosa features the area's largest display. Yeah, I need some effects. Go.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go. The area's largest display of antique Christmas decorations and lights. Authentic Belter parlor, original Edison light bulbs, gas lights, and an Ampico reproducing piano. The tours are being held now through the end of December. For more information, call 261-9000.
Oh, hold it. Dave's writing us a note here.
What's the note, Dave?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I said you could get it at Super X, Record Theater, Globe Records and Tapes. This isn't for you. This is for our producer. All About Sports and at Riverfront Stadium on game days is where this record album is available. Okay. And if they're normally $3.99, for $8, I'll sell you my copy. Okay. All right. Now, that sounds like a lot of fun. We have everybody here gathered. Okay, no one is leaving now. No one will be seated during the final 5 minutes of our program either. We're going to take a break. Coming up next, we're going to get your car ready for winter. You're right. It's absolutely good. Steve Overbeck, thanks. Stay with us. Well, reindeer, of course, have no trouble whatever getting started this time of year, but sometimes our automobile bubble does. So what we're even talking about it is difficult. We're welcoming back to our program with some help for your car and mine, Mr. Steve Overbeck. Hi, Steve.
Thank you, Ira. How
Merry
you doing?
Christmas. I'm
Merry
great.
Christmas
How are
to
you?
Excellent.
All right, we're ready to go. First of all, we're going to talk about the well-equipped tool kit that we ought to have in the car.
Right. Well, you know, most European automobile makers and some of the actual Japanese automakers actually provide toolkits. In fact, your automobile has a toolkit
Yes, it does.
But the domestic manufacturer doesn't do it at all. So we thought we'd give you some ideas.
And in fact, for a few extra thousand, you can get a mechanic to ride
Lay
around in the back
right
seat.
with
Yeah,
you. That's right. So what we're going to do is tell you a couple things that you should be carrying in your automobile if you're going to be going on a trip this winter over the holidays.
Okay, good.
We do have a sheet here we'll provide people in the audience with here, so we can go ahead and they'll know exactly what we're going to be talking about.
Isn't that a nice touch, huh?
So
you'll know what to have with you. Thank you, Steve.
That's right.
Oh, all right.
One of the first things, and I think one of the innovations that's come along here, a lot of people don't know about is, you know, have you ever changed a flat tire in your car?
Oh, well, not on this car, but I have done it.
You
on
have
cars
done it.
before.
Many people in the audience change flat tires? It's not a fun thing to do, right?
No.
So one of the things that has come along here, and I think every automobile should have, and I don't know why the manufacturer hasn't come out with it yet, actually providing it in your car, is there are new types of sealers out there that instead of having to go ahead and to take the tire off, all you have to do is get out of your automobile, take and screw this on to the actual valve stem. It'll inflate the tire with a sealant in it, jump back in your car, and you're ready to go. It's a lot cheaper and a lot easier.
How far can you safely travel then with that?
Actually, some of the claims, depending upon what you buy, the manufacturer says it will permanently seal, although they do suggest that you do get it checked after you get to a place where you can have the tire removed. But it's capable on the expressway up to 60 miles an hour.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Last one I had down here we didn't get on, Amanda took. See, she took that for her car.
She's a devil.
A couple other things we want to talk about.
Oh, calm down, Mandy. It's not that exciting. Okay.
A couple other things I think that we should have is, of course, a flashlight. I don't know how many people drive around and don't have flashlights, especially one that works. You know, a lot of people have them in their cars, but they don't work. Second thing you should be carrying if you're going on a trip is at least another quart of oil. You know, you never know when you might have a problem, and a quart of oil is not that difficult to keep in your automobile, so a quart of oil should be included also.
And they're in new kind of containers. You don't have the, you know, doopy can.
That's right. Plastic now, and they're pourable, and you can reseal them. So if you have to add a little bit, and I suggest that if you have to add some...
You can hear the ocean.
Right. Well, if you add some, you know, if you're a little bit low, the people usually wait till you put a quart in. Don't wait that long. If it's down, fill it up. Okay?
Oh, and then with these resealable cans,
That's
no
correct.
problem.
And you can reseal it.
I like knowing this stuff. All right, what else we need?
One of the other things, actually parts-wise, probably the belt that's most important on any automobile is the actual alternator belt or water pump belt. You should carry at least an extra one of these. And again, we get back to the European manufacturers. Mercedes and BMW, you can go buy a travel kit from them that includes all the belts and hoses for your automobile. So if you're going somewhere, their theory is that if you have a breakdown, anybody can put a hose on or a belt.
Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, yeah, you could do it. No problem.
Don't you need special tools?
Well, again, with your toolkit, and we'll show you some of the basic tools here that you're supposed to have, you should have no problem. So at least another alternator belt.
This is the only belt you ought to have for the road, okay? Whatever season. Okay,
That's right. Okay, a couple other things. Should have some spare fuses. Should include that, whatever size. There should be a couple different sizes in there. You never know when you're going to have an electrical problem, so you want to have a variety of sizes. Again, very cheap and inexpensive, okay?
All right.
Now, let's get on to a couple other things here. I always suggest we call this mechanics wire, although they call it a lot of other things, too. You never know when
electrical wire.
Well, it's really, there's no insulation on it at all, so all you have to do is, if you have a muffler fall off, you never know when you might have something come loose, and you're dragging a muffler down the expressway, it's causing sparks, could cause an explosion with a gas tank. So just something that you have, again, very cheap and expensive.
To rig it temporarily till you can get to the gas station.
Exactly, to rig it temporarily. Now, the other thing that is almost a must to carry in your toolkit is at least some electrical tape. Now, one of the reasons is, and we'll take a look at these hoses. This hose I took off of somebody's automobile. I don't know if you can see the bulge here.
One of you in the audience, as a matter of fact. And,
actually, 2 days ago. Now, that hose, this is what happens to your hoses on your automobile. Feel that.
Oh, this is not how it's supposed to be.
Oh, no. It's all supposed to be this size on this end or about this size.
Wow.
See, what people don't realize happens is...
glandular problem.
Exactly, like a tuber. And they swell up. And the reason is the antifreeze actually enters in between the layers and starts to pressurize. And this one's ready to blow.
Wow.
Now, if you happen to have a leak on the expressway or a coolant leak, a lot of times there'll just be minor pierces in through here that you can seal off. And that's where the electrical tape comes in.
I'll be darned.
You know,
again, for a temporary fix till you get it into the service.
Right. I've always said that the world turns on wire and tape. You know, exactly. So,
well, this show's on tape, so I tell you right now, it's really great.
That's right. So what you want to do is, if you happen to have a leak, it's just a matter of using the tape to go ahead and actually just seal it off and pull it tight around, and then you'll be able to get on your way, and you won't have any problems.
All
So at least it's something that you can do to
And this is
remedy
electrician's tape.
Yes, just
commonly.
standard plastic electrician's tape that's commonly used, and I suggest, again, it's inexpensive, something cheap to have in your automobile.
Okay.
Again, now we get on to one more thing that you should carry actual parts-wise, piece of sandpaper. And the reason I suggest the sandpaper is battery connections, and we're going to talk about that in getting your car ready for winter. Battery connections, #1 reason for vehicles not starting or battery problems in the winter. You never know when you can use it to clean connections, electrical problems. It's just a good piece to have, and it's just, again, very inexpensive.
I like to have it in my car in case the going gets a little rough.
That's right. Or if you want to do a little body work on the way, right? So you can fix that too. The other thing is a couple hose clamps. Again, very inexpensive that you can have. All different sizes. We have 3 different sizes here, again, to fit the radiator hose, small fuel hoses, and heater hose. Again, doesn't take much space.
I would never have thought of this stuff. I really wouldn't.
Really, and it's very inexpensive and something that you should carry. Now we get the tool segment, and there isn't a whole lot because there's so many different varieties of bolts and screws on the automobile. We suggest that you at least have 3 different screwdrivers, a very large flat-bladed one, a small flat-bladed, and then a Phillips screwdriver. Again, at least you'll be able to fumble around and get something adjusted or tightened up to get you on the way.
Okay.
The other thing you want to have is a crescent wrench, something that you can, or adjustable wrench, something that'll fit just about every nut and bolt because, again, we're some metric. Some people have standard threads on their automobiles. A pair of pliers, and then something that we call a vice grips. This here is an adjustable. I'll put this down here so we can see. This is an adjustable type of pliers, and it locks itself on. So in case something would break that you could not get a bolt in, you could lock it in place. It'll adjust to any size and tighten itself up. The other thing is you should have just a couple rags, and you should also have a tire gauge with you, okay?
And the nice thing is, I mean, in your car, you have all this stuff, and you really know how to use it.
Well, but really, I think, Ira, anybody, you know, we're talking about basics. When you get into some problem where a belt breaks or you have a coolant system failure, you should be able to at least visualize and see what you have to do and then kind of make it up as you go along.
At least long enough for you to get to where a professional can help you.
Exactly. And again, to get stuck on the expressway, you know, during the holidays, you know, accordingly, the price of towing goes up. Whatever they can get for the job, you could spend $60, $70 to be towed somewhere when you might be able to have it right here in your toolkit.
All right. Our guest this morning is Steve Overbeck. We're talking about how your car ought to be equipped with the appropriate tools. We'll take a break, and then we talk about Old Man Winter from Young Man Overbeck and how we can get our car ready for it. Stay tuned. Is virtually here, and so you're all set for it. We have invited Steve Overbeck to join us, and as a matter of fact, in honor of the holidays, we have a Christmas wreath from the Steve Overbeck home right here. Thought we'd show it to you.
That's it.
So this is their Christmas decoration. It's kind of pretty, isn't it? Now, we'll be talking about tires here in just a second. I'm only joking. Steve, we have to talk about getting our car winterized. What do we check first of all?
Well, I think in the winterization, some of the things that you want to check first, Ira, is definitely not getting your car started. Batteries, #1 priority. One of the things that people don't understand is that the positive and negative terminals with the types of connections that are on these days, they get corroded. That's the reason they won't start. Another thing is the fallacy that these are maintenance-free batteries. Most of them say maintenance-free on the top. Well, there is a liquid inside here. It's an electrolyte, but there's water that should be added. And we see about 80% of these that come into my shop are dry because people don't know they can check them.
Now, that means if they're dry, they won't hold a charge?
That's correct. They will discharge, and that's usually what happens. Batteries are sulfate, and they actually use some of the liquid. And a lot of people don't realize that you can actually get inside these caps and take these caps off the tops of these batteries. Even though it says that it's a maintenance-free, you still can get in and check the electrolyte level inside.
How deep should your electrolytes be?
Well, it should be filled up exactly like it is inside there. There's a little meniscus that forms on top, so it's up to the level. There's a little ring down in there. And it's a matter of checking and filling with distilled water, or you can use regular tap water, but it must be kept filled because these batteries use a lot of water in just the charging and discharging system.
I'm sorry, you can put just tap water
Oh,
in?
yes, you can. Again, it might not last as long, but regular tap water will work fine. Okay. You know, what's the chemicals inside.
All right.
Next thing is, that's probably the most important, is actually in just antifreeze. You know, and again, I don't care what brand of antifreeze you use, but it should be down to about 40 below on your automobile. In other words, the cooling system. Yeah, it used to be 20 below, and right now all the manufacturers are suggesting that we get it down to at least 40 below. Now, one of the ways you can check it, and I suggest most people get one of these, it's a $2 item, and what it is, it's an antifreeze tester. Very simple to use. All you have to do is take the hose, stick it into the radiator, and squeeze the bulb, and it will go ahead and pull up antifreeze inside the actual clear container here, and it will tell how many of these balls will float. We're actually taking a gravity reading inside the radiator.
But then that'll tell you to what temperature your auto is protected.
That's correct. That'll tell you what temperature it's protected. And you got to have minus 40 below. That's a minimum.
Okay.
One of the other things is, in the antifreeze that we're using these days, not all antifreezes fit your automobile, so just don't run on down to the parts store and buy any antifreeze.
What do you mean?
Well, because we used to be concerned about rust inside. You know, that was it. Everybody looked inside their radiator and found out there was rust inside, so they go ahead and change the antifreeze. Right now, manufacturers recommend if you have a new automobile, every 12,000 miles or year, whichever comes first, you must get this antifreeze out.
Wow.
And one of the things you want to look for, if we can get a picture on the back of the container, the antifreeze levels right at the top, up here at the section, there is an actual application or approved, yeah, right there. It's an actual approved, says General Motors approved. You want to look for these numbers on the antifreeze container, and I think you'll be surprised if you go out and look just to see, and I remember the number General Motors happens to be an 1825M. The others are rather...
Would damage your radiator?
Or, yes, go ahead and creep. There's an electrolysis...
Oh, stop laughing at that.
An electrolysis problem is what would happen. Actually, it eats itself up, similar to in the ocean where they have ships and they have to put zincs on them to prevent them from getting eaten up. We see a number of heads, gaskets, and heads that are eaten up because people put the wrong antifreeze in.
Let me ask you this. Why is it necessary to go to 40 below? Because of your car, as it travels down the highway, it's going to be lowered perhaps to that temperature?
No, that's a fallacy. Wind chill factors, when you hear them on the weather, that has nothing to do with your car.
I hate it when those stupid weather people make you.
Yeah, you know, that's right. You know, you always make us feel worse by, gee, it's going to be 0 out, you know. But if it's 20 degrees outside, the radiator's going to be 20 degrees, regardless of whether you're doing 60 miles an hour sitting in your driveway.
Well, why do you need the radiator, or why do you need the antifreeze to 40 below?
Well, just because in the heating and cooling process, the recommended right now, because of the small pockets where some of this water or antifreeze solution sits, and if you're letting the car sit outside, it's possible that it still could freeze.
Oh, okay.
Also, it helps take the actual temperature or heat away. Most diesel engines and regular gasoline engines, right now the manufacturer, it used to be we put a 50-50 solution, 50% water, 50% antifreeze. Right now we don't do that. Some are actually 60-40. They want a little more antifreeze than water to help conduct the heat away.
Okay.
Okay.
What else we have here?
Let's talk about something that's a little tip here. First of all, very quickly on this. You know, a lot of people, you go out and I assume use a scraper to scrape your windshield, correct?
Yeah.
All right, most of us
usually Dave Angelite, our floor director.
Oh, Dave comes out and does it?
Yeah.
That's good. Well, maybe he can stop by my
Part
house
of the
and
job. Yeah, he doesn't mind. He's real.
Most of the people use a plastic window scraper, although there are some new, here, I'll put this out so they can see that. Most people now are using some of this type of product. You know, you spray it on your windshield and it'll defrost.
Yeah.
You want to be very careful of this. It says on the back that it will not harm anything, but what's in this is methanol. Methanol will eat all the rubber, you know, how your windshield's in rubber?
Sure.
Well, I don't tell you that, but it'll eat the rubber on the windshield.
Well, how much of an application will do that?
Well, it comes out of here very quickly, and, you know, I guess people just keep spraying until it defrosts. It takes a couple minutes for this to defrost.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
The other thing that's interesting is right outside now in the actual Ford Motor Company has some new windshields, not new stuff, but windshields that actually defrost automatically. That's a new thing we're going to see. Yeah, they call it InstaClear windshield. You can buy an automobile from Ford Motor Company, flip the switch on it, within 30 seconds, it'll take a quarter-inch ice off your windshield. And it's all done electronically.
All right, we didn't get to everything. We'll have to have you come
Sure,
back,
I'd
Steve
love to do
Overbeck.
that.
You hear him on WCKY Radio and WVXU FM. You read him in the Cincinnati Suburban Press. It occasionally shows up on Channel 9 and also here on Channel 12. Steve
Love
Overbeck,
it.
thank
Thanks,
you so
Ira.
much.
Happy
Merry
holidays
Christmas
to you.
Happy holidays. Break time. Coming up, we are going to do some wonderful cooking. We want to invite you to be a part of our studio audience because Luke Perry of Loving, boom, 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 a heartthrob if ever there was one, is going to be visiting us. And on Monday, Tuesday, Nick and Nina Clooney are going to whip up something special in the kitchen, and they'll be a part of our studio. We would like you to be a part of our studio audience. Call for tickets right now. They're absolutely free, 749-2333, and the tickets are good to 40 below. Coming up, desserts for the holidays. Stay tuned. It's the best of everything, and we're welcoming back to our program the Kroger chef, Glenn Rinsky. Glenn, happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
We're starting with what I hope will become a tradition in the Fisher household at holiday time, and that is a chocolate chestnut tort.
Definitely, without a doubt, this will be it from year end.
This is your recipe?
This is my recipe, and we're going to do it. It's a real quick and easy recipe if you're into making cakes, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And so I think we're going to give the ingredients first.
Let's show you, first of all, what you will need, and if you're writing along with this, please write it in pencil because we are trained professionals, and it's dangerous if you do it in ink. Here is, are we going to look at that recipe? There we go.
There
Okay.
we are. Ta-da.
Chestnut, and of course, the correct name is torta. We add the A on the end of it there because it just
Sounds
gives
good.
the person doing
Little
the typing a
Italian
little something.
Christmas,
There
but
you
I'm
go.
bummed.
We need 4 eggs separated. because you know how they quarrel when they get
Divorced.
divorced eggs. Divorced eggs, yes.
You get this and you get that. Divide the refrigerator up.
Then we need to try to get them to work out their problems, a cup of sugar. We need 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, and then a teaspoon, a mere tisp, of vanilla extract, and then 1 pound, of which I have several, but this is, in this case, 1 pound of roasted
Get
chestnuts.
to the recipe.
I'm sorry, I digress there. A half a cup of chopped pecans, and 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate.
And that's it. And that's what makes our
That's
cake.
too easy.
It is really easy. He thinks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our eggs, and I've already separated the egg yolks into this bowl with the electric mixer, and the egg whites into this bowl, and this is your bowl.
Crazy mixed-up kids work this out.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the electric mixer on.
And this is my bowl over here?
Yes, and I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar to this.
Well, what do I do?
Well, just wait a minute.
Oh, okay.
We're going to add the sugar, and now I'm mixing my egg yolks. In the meantime, you're going to beat the egg whites.
Whoa! I'd like to thank Conan,
Now-
the chef, for loaning us this thing.
No, wait, Ira. In school, we were taught how to beat egg whites.
Yeah.
And what you did is you took an egg,
Yes?
and you put it under your arm, and then you took the beater, and you beat it without letting the egg drop.
Well, we have to do that?
No.
Oh, sure. No, that would really
No.
foul up a perfectly good egg.
But I do want you to beat these egg whites. Let's see the big Julia Child technique here. Whoa, look at this. Nice. Nice.
And
So-
you know, I've always said you just can't beat eggs. Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, please.
Okay.
So we've got 4 egg whites and 4 egg yolks. I'll take over so we get done within the next year before we're making Christmas cake next year.
Sounds like a Detroit assembly line in here. What are we making?
So now we've got
And
our
when you're
egg
done, you
whites
have a
beating.
54 Pontiac. It's really neat.
We've got our egg whites beating with our sugar, and we've got our our egg yolks beating with our sugar and our egg whites.
Okay.
Now we're beating the egg yolks and the whites because we want lots of air. If you notice, there's 2 things that's not in this cake.
Air.
One, there's lots of air.
Oh, lots of air.
One is no baking soda or
No
baking powder.
soda, baking powder, so it doesn't
And
rise.
what's the other thing?
And the other thing it doesn't have is
Flour,
flour.
which is very odd for a cake, isn't it?
That is odd
Our
for a cake.
chestnuts make our body, which is the flour.
Okay.
And so now we've got our egg whites beaten up here. And we're just about 5 minutes. Don't get too excited over the
Okay.
mixer. Till it's nice, light, and yellow. And see what a beautiful yellow consistency that
Really
is.
spiffy.
Isn't that
That's a cup of
beautiful?
sugar,
That's a cup of sugar.
4 egg yolks.
4 egg yolks. And then we're going to add to this our grated chestnuts, which are right here. And just plop those right in. I want to show
like
you.
a Christmas song.
Doesn't it sound Christmassy?
Grated chestnuts in your chocolate tart.
Bing Crosby,
Sorry.
you're not.
No, you're right. That's why the Sycamore
With-
Touring Company asked me
It's
not
like,
to join
whoa.
them. Yeah.
That's because you don't fit in the
That's
sequin
right.
outfit.
Well, that's what it is. It would have gone broke on the sequins for my
Now,
outfit.
a little note on chestnuts.
All right.
To roast them,
Yes.
this is your cue song.
Okay.
You take it and you take the bottom of it and you cut right down into a square. You make an
See
X.
that? Can you see that there, Mike?
X marks the spot. Right there. I did it in butter so you can all see it on the TV. Ta-da!
Highlighted in butter.
Yes. X
All right.
marks the spot on the chestnuts. Put them in 350 oven for 15 minutes and they're ready to go.
Well, why do you do that? To relieve the pressure so they don't
And
explode.
exactly. Don't you love microwaves? I love it because it's like the only problem with the microwave is it might explode. So with the chestnuts, we don't want it to explode.
Gotcha. And it'll decorate your microwave. All right.
Exactly. So now we add our pecans and our chestnut and a little vanilla.
But you're not measuring, Glenn. It
Who
drives
has
me
time
crazy.
to measure? You don't give me any time. This isn't Julia Child. I mean, come on. So now we've got this all mixed up, and then we're going to take a bit of our egg whites. We want to beat them up a little more, and we add about 1/4 of our egg whites to this.
Oh, it smells great
Doesn't
already.
that smell wonderful? Hey, look. And we mix that up, and then we're going to take the rest, and we want to fold them in. So we just take those right
It's an
in.
odd cooking term. I never understood that folding.
Folding, isn't that
Fold
great?
letters. You don't
fold
fold
it into a
chestnuts.
4 square, it's like, whoa. Real easy to fold. When you fold, you take your bowl and your spatula, and you go around and around and around.
That's folding.
And that's folding. And then we take it, and we put it in a pan, and we bake it.
to us
350.
laymen, that's stirring.
To a layman,
Glenn.
it's stirring. Well, it's
Yeah.
not stirring.
It's folding.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so, this is it's a neat recipe, and the chestnuts we get fresh at our Kroger garden, of course, and they're really wonderful for this time of the year. And you can roast them or you can do the recipe. Now, after it has baked in the oven, we take it out.
I'm sorry, you bake it for how long and what temperature?
We want to bake it at 350 for, let me make sure I get it correctly,
Let's see, 3.
Talk
Talk among yourselves.
Talk among yourselves.
For 2 tablespoons of butter.
Okay, here we go. For 35 minutes.
35 minutes, okay.
Are we consulting or what?
I guess we're doing a great job there, yes.
So we've got the cake baked, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter to it, and plop that right in there just like that. And then we're going to put it in the oven, at about a 250 oven, and we're going to let it melt. And they melt in there and get real nice. It's so much easier than melting over a double boiler or all that kind of malarkey.
I agree.
So just plop it over into a little oven, throw it in, and by the magic of television,
it turns into
this
holly.
is it.
Isn't this wonderful?
Isn't that neat? And all I've done is decorate it real nicely with some nice fresh holly.
Yep.
And that's it. It's a real easy recipe to do. It's fun to do the chestnuts. You can get the kids to do the chestnuts with you, and it's a lot of fun.
It sounds wonderful. And Glenn, you're wonderful for dropping by to share with us. Now, we're going to take a break, and what we're going to do when we return, we have a nice little Christmas dessert here. When we return, Joycey is going to be joining Glenn to make a wonderful Hanukkah dessert.
Wonderful.
I'm looking forward to that, to tasting both of them. Glenn and Joyce will be right back. Stay with us.
Sugar Chef, he has just completed a delicious chocolate chestnut torta and now gourmet Hanukkah sweet potato pancakes.
Right.
I've never heard of sweet potato pancakes.
Me either before a week and a half ago.
Well, where'd you come up with the recipe?
Well, see, I figured we wanted to do something that was related to Hanukkah, and I thought, well, let's do the traditional latke, only don't do it traditionally. So I decided to take the regular potato pancakes and substitute sweet potatoes and add some apples, because apples seem to be very much a part of Jewish cookery.
Yes.
And so that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
And so what I've got is 2 pounds of sweet potatoes.
And let's show the rest of the ingredients that you're going to need to assemble these gourmet sweet potato pancakes a la Chef Glenn Rinsky.
Here we are.
Here they come. Hanukkah potato pancakes, you will need 1 pound of sweet potatoes peeled, 3 apples peeled and cored, 2 eggs, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 5 tablespoons of matzah meal. You'll need 1 tablespoon of concentrated orange juice, 1/2 cup sour cream, and 1/4 cup toasted sliced almonds. That sounds like a complicated recipe for just coming up with it by yourself a week ago. That's great.
Well, I sat up all night and did this. You know, I ain't going to sleep. So anyway, what we're going to do is I've got these sweet potatoes, and I've grated them in my food processor, right straight through. Same thing with the apples, and I combine the orange juice with the apples so they won't turn on me.
Oh, that's why the apples are retaining their color. I get it. All right.
And
Great.
now we're going to take the sweet potatoes and just add them into our apples, just like that.
He doesn't mess around, does he?
Hey, look, we got work to do. And then we're going to take some of our nutmeg, and I use fresh grated nutmeg.
I didn't know you could get it that way.
Yes, in fact, we have it at Kroger's in our spice section. We have whole fresh nutmegs, and they're so much better because it's like pepper. And when you grind a nutmeg, the first time the burst of flavor comes out, burst, and then it's over.
Can you do that again on an instant replay?
Burst.
Okay.
So, and then now we've got to get cooking here.
All right.
As opposed to cracking
I'll behave.
nuts,
No
you know. So we've got our eggs. We're going to add 2 eggs to this.
But you don't separate these eggs.
No, these...
Look at how close they are. They get along a lot better than the
I
eggs
know,
in your
well,
first segment.
exactly. Well, they were older when they were married.
That's true.
So...
That's true. I failed to
Oh,
remember that.
whoa! Not...
Congratulations.
It was a quickie marriage. It was a shotgun wedding.
It was definitely a shotgun wedding.
So,
Okay. Well, I
but
hope,
just like joining a child, we throw it on the floor and we go on.
I hope this recipe doesn't need any more eggs.
So,
You're not measuring
now
anything,
we add
Glenn.
some 5 tablespoons of
5
matzah
tablespoons.
meal.
He knows 5 tablespoons.
Well, exactly. And then we don't have a little fork here, so we'll just pull one out of our magic drawer, and we'll just whip that right around. Now, don't laugh at me, Joyce. You're making me very nervous.
Okay, I promise. I'll behave.
And then we're going to add some brown sugar.
I'm about ready to
Are you? No,
jump ship here. All right,
Are you really?
No,
You're supposed to help me.
Okay, what would you like me to do?
Well, I don't know now. We're lost cause. It's a lost. Go pick up the eggs. So we've got our brown sugar and everything, and we just add it in. And now we're going to take this, and we're going to make it into little pancakes.
Lumpy, Glenn.
I know it is a little lumpy. But shh, we won't say anything.
That's
we
mixed?
make this...
Look at all those big lumps in there. Let me stir that
Joyce,
while you're making a pancake.
Okay. So, and we put it right in just like that into our oil. And we've got a tablespoon of oil, or a couple tablespoons, olive oil. And it is olive oil. Because the whole reason for Hanukkah is the 8 days of lighting the menorah, and it was used with oil and the miracle of the light. And also, let me tell you a quick story. The reason latkes came about... Don't you love stories?
I do.
The reason latkes came about is because the Maccabees, who were the soldiers of the Jewish nation, were losing the war terribly to the Syrians. And so it is rumored that the Jewish wives, of course the Jewish mothers always come through in the end, they... Ta-da!
Thank you. On behalf of Jewish mothers everywhere, I thank you for that.
They decided they will get some potato latkes and they'll make them and feed them to the Syrians.
Feed them to the
Syrians?
Syrians?
Feed them to the Syrians. They were so thick and so heavy, it slowed them down, and the Maccabees overpowered them and won. So how's that?
What do you think of that?
So now while those are
going,
cooking,
yeah. What do you do? Oh,
we've got them already made, and we're going to make them a little pretty. So we're going to take some sour cream, and we're just going to splick it right on there. He's messy
You're going to
today,
splick
isn't
it?
he?
Is that a Glenn Rinsky phrase?
That's a culinary term. You know, like when someone gets drunk, toasted, that's culinary.
Oh, really? It gets toasted.
And we're just a little sour cream right on, and then we've got some fresh toasted almonds, and we'll just put those right around. And then, of course, the ever-popular parsley right at the end.
I'm too
and
embarrassed
we've got
to do this alone. Ira, would you taste these with me? Come on, Ira. Ouch, that's hot.
It's a little hot.
Don't touch that plate.
That's the plate. It's hot.
It's really hot. You want some sour cream on yours? Well, you do now. It's on
Well,
it.
no, you go first because I'm not going to put that hot thing in my mouth.
Oh, my God. Those are great.
Now,
wow.
Yeah, but what are you going
The
to say?
heck
We're
with
on
tradition.
TV.
Right,
No,
we're on
I'm
TV.
telling you.
The heck with tradition.
I mean, the guy's
This is
come
it.
down here, you know, in his own time. What's he
These
going to
are
say? Oh,
really
these are
good.
terrible. Try
Right
again.
things in the world.
Those are really good.
Now,
Oh,
we
okay.
do have...
Well, Ira Joe's
wonderful.
enjoying that, and I'm going to probably finish the rest of this.
Okay.
We'd like to share with you the address to which you can write to obtain both recipes. You can write to Festive Recipes in care of our Ira Joe Fisher Show, 1906 Highland Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45219, and we'll get those out to you just as fast as we can. Chef Glenn Rinsky, thank you very much.
Thank you
Even
very
though you
much.
misbehaved, we want to thank you.
I'll clean up my mess.
Okay.
Glenn, don't you have something
I am
for us?
oh,
I've been waiting for this all morning.
What is this?
The Hyde Park Kroger store. Merry Christmas, Ira Joe. Ta-da! From our floral shop.
And Ira is written backwards. Isn't that great? Thank you, Glenn. Happy holidays
Thank you.
to
Happy
you.
holidays
Thank
to
you.
you.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays
Dave,
to you,
happy
too.
holidays. Mandy, happy holidays. We're going to take a
Everybody
break. We
happy
have some music for the season for you. Stay tuned. Happy holidays to you. Think about things seasonal. We have some wonderful songs to share with you now and some wonderful people to do the sharing. They are the Sycamore High School Touring Company. Vocal director Brenda Huffine, stage director Leslie Knotts, accompanied by Carolyn Miller. And by the way, Monday night at 7:30 at Sycamore High School, they will be presenting their Christmas concert. We get a little preview right now. Please welcome to our program the Sycamore High School Touring Company.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
actually, I kept one of the drummers.
And then that all left, I wrote my true love. We are through love, and I said in so many words, furthermore your Christmas gifts were poured off, for Collingbird, 3 French hens, 2 turtle-doves, and a partridge in a third Happy holiday! Happy holiday! Happy holiday! Happy holiday! While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday! Happy holiday! Happy holiday! Happy holiday! May the calendar keep ringing. Happy holidays to you. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. May the calendar keep ringing. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays. Dreaming of happy holidays. Christmas. While the merry bells keep ringing, may your every wish come true. Where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your day be merry and bright. And may all happy holiday, happy holiday, happy holidays to you.
On our program, we are going, or I should say Monday.
Monday.
Monday on our shoe. We're going to talk with the mayor of Maysville,
Harriet Cartmel, yes.
Controversial lady. She's in favor of the legalization of marijuana, she says.
Also, we will, actually, this is next week on there.
We're having a lot of fun.
We're going to be having a lot of
Thank you and bless you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sycamore High School Touring Company. Going to sing for us again.
Has Diane left the bar to work in a convent? Find out on Cheers today at 5 on WKRC Channel 12. Now stay tuned for the Will Shriner Show, coming up next.
Be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near.
This